The NBA is stacked with high-flying stars and who can defy gravity and steal the spotlight with just one dunk.
It's grabbed by Smart.
But lately, the slam dunk contest hasn't been owned by NBA players at all. It's been ruled by a G League star named Mac McClung.
Is the first G League player ever to participate.
For 3 straight years, he's shown up, thrown down, and walked away with the trophy. Every single time. How does a 6-foot 2-inch guard, not even on an NBA roster, who looks more like a high school English teacher than an NBA hooper, keep stealing the show from the league's best athletes? From viral high school mixtapes to dunk contest legend, this is the story of how Mac McClung turned the NBA's biggest stage into his personal playground. Before Mac McClung was dunking under the bright lights of the NBA All-Star Weekend, he was just a small-town kid from Gate City, Virginia, a place with fewer than 2,000 people, tucked deep in the Appalachian Mountains. From the start, Mac's story was different. He was born with the umbilical cord wrapped tightly around his neck, and doctors had to act fast to save him. That fight to breathe was his first challenge, and he came out swinging. Raised in a competitive, sports-loving family, Mac was surrounded by athletic energy. His dad played football at Virginia Tech, his mom was a cheerleader, and his older sister, Anna, was a soccer prodigy. So naturally, Mac gravitated towards sports. At first, it was football. In Southwest Virginia, that's what kids did. But just before 7th grade, everything changed. His mom signed him up for a local youth basketball league, and Mac was instantly hooked. According to his future high school coach, he ducked his head into the gym one day and basically never left. From that point on, basketball became his obsession. After a snowboarding accident in 8th grade left him with a broken arm, Mac used his recovery time to improve his shooting form. He'd spend hours working on his jumper in the basement gym his parents built, originally meant for his sister. But Mac's relentless work ethic took over. His dad even had to kick him out sometimes, just to give Anna a chance to train. Even back then, there were signs. He was smaller than most, but his vertical leap was freakish. He was always jumping, always trying to fly. Whether it was on a lowered rim in the driveway or a real one in the gym, Mac was trying to dunk. And by the time he hit high school, he wasn't just dunking, he was dunking hard. And people were starting to notice. By the time Mac McClung got to Gate City High School, it was clear. This kid was different. He wasn't just athletic, he was explosive. At barely 6 feet tall, he was throwing down dunks most high schoolers only dreamed of. And not just fast break rim grazers, these were windmills, reverses, and off-the-backboard slams that looked like they belonged in an NBA contest, not a small-town high school gym in rural Virginia. His stat lines were wild, dropping 47 points in a single state championship game, breaking Allen Iverson's long-standing Virginia scoring record, with over 2,800 career points. But it wasn't just the numbers that made people stop and watch, it was the way he played. Every dunk was personal, every game a show. And then came the videos. The first big viral moment came when Mac entered the 2018 Ball is Life All-American Dunk Contest. Surrounded by some of the top high school talent in the country, Mac stole the spotlight. He put down dunks that left the crowd speechless. Reverse windmills, through-the-legs slams, and verticals that felt impossible for a guy his size. The video of that performance blew up across YouTube and Twitter. Then came the knockout punch. His official senior year mixtape, titled Mac McClung Official Senior Year Mixtape, the most exciting player in America. This compilation lit up the internet. It wasn't just a collection of dunks, it was a highlight reel of dominance. That video racked up millions of views and turned Mac from a local legend into a national name. Almost overnight, he went from being a kid from a 2,000-person town to a social media sensation. Ball is Life, Overtime, Slam, they all covered him. Sports pages couldn't stop reposting his dunks. The narrative was wild. A small town, undersized white kid with pro-level hops? It didn't make sense, until you saw it. But while the internet labeled him a highlight machine, Mac stayed focused. For him, it wasn't about going viral, it was about proving he could hang with the best. And as the world started watching, Mac kept working, because in his mind, the show was just getting started. With his name buzzing online and his high school career in the books, Mac McClung had options. He originally committed to Rutgers, but after his national profile exploded, bigger programs took notice, and he flipped his commitment to Georgetown. For many, it felt like a perfect stage, an iconic basketball school, a legacy of guards, and a spotlight in the Big East. But college basketball? That was a different beast. At Georgetown, Mac quickly showed he could do more than dunk. He averaged 13.1 points per game as a freshman and became a fan favorite for his relentless energy and fearless drives to the rim. But injuries slowed him down, and his role in the offense wasn't always consistent. After 2 seasons, he transferred to Texas Tech, looking for a fresh start, and he delivered, averaging over 15 points per game again and hitting multiple clutch shots throughout the season. Still, despite all the hype and highlight reels, NBA scouts weren't sold. Some said he was too small to play the 2-guard. Others questioned if his game could translate beyond flashy dunks. In 2021, Mac declared for the NBA draft and went undrafted. It was a gut punch. The viral fame, the college stats, the jaw-dropping athleticism. It still wasn't enough, but instead of giving up, Mac doubled down. If the NBA door didn't open right away, he'd kick it down from the side. He signed a summer league deal, then bounced between a few G League teams. No full-time NBA contract, no major minutes. But behind the scenes, he was grinding, sharpening his handle, tightening his shot, building a pro-level game piece by piece. And while the league might not have had a roster spot for him yet, it was about to hand him a stage, a very big one. After going undrafted, Mac McClung didn't take the easy route and chased money playing overseas. He went straight into the trenches of professional basketball, the G League. He bounced around the G League, suiting up for teams like the South Bay Lakers, Windy City Bulls, and Delaware Bluecoats. There were no bright lights or big cameras in those gyms, but that didn't matter. To Mac, every game, every practice, was a chance to take a step forward. He was building something bigger. He had short stints in the NBA, appearing in regular season games for the Sixers, Lakers, and Bulls. But his contracts were never guaranteed. Still, he kept grinding, kept believing. What most fans didn't see was the transformation happening behind the scenes. Sure, the bounce was still there, he was still flying, but Mac was developing the parts of his game that never go viral. His handle got tighter, his shot selection smarter, his jump shot more consistent. He wasn't just trying to impress with dunks anymore, he was proving he could run an offense, make plays, and lead a team. But of course, the dunks never stopped. If anything, they were getting more creative, more explosive. Clips would pop up from G League games showing Mac pulling off in-game dunks that most guys wouldn't even try in warm-ups. He didn't need a crowd. He was always in Showtime mode. And that's when the NBA called. Not for a contract, not for a roster spot, but for something else entirely. They invited Mac to the 2023 NBA Slam Dunk Contest. It was a surprise to some, but not to those who'd been watching. This was the moment built for him. The G League had sharpened his skills, but the dunk contest, that was his element. His chance to show the world, on the biggest stage, that even without an NBA jersey on his back, he could steal the spotlight from anyone. When Mac McClung walked onto the court at All-Star Weekend in 2023, most fans didn't know what to expect. After all, he wasn't on an NBA roster. He wasn't a household name. In a contest that used to feature legends like Michael Jordan, Vince Carter, and Kobe Bryant, Mac was just that G League kid who could dunk. But that night, he didn't just prove he belonged. He stole the entire show. From the very first dunk, it was clear. This wasn't going to be close. Mac opened the show by leaping over 2 people, tapping the ball off the glass, and throwing down a reverse jam that stunned the crowd.
Some boy, he gonna go down. Oh, that's a 50.
The judges went nuts. The crowd exploded. Even NBA players on the sidelines were left speechless. But that was just the beginning. Mac followed it up with a reverse 362-handed jam, a move so clean and smooth it drew oohs and ahs from the crowd as they watched it again in slow motion. He was pulling off dunks with perfect execution, perfect elevation, and zero wasted motion. Each one was more creative, more athletic, and more crowd-pleasing than the last. His final dunk, the one that sealed the win, was nearly a 720. He spun almost 2 full rotations in the air before finishing with a smooth reverse. For a 6'2" guard, it was nothing short of jaw-dropping. And just like that, Mac McClung, who hadn't played a single meaningful NBA minute, became the face of the dunk contest. He didn't just win it, he ran away with it. And when the NBA invited him back in 2024, same result, but this one was tougher than the first, partly because of the questionable judging that gave him a low score on his opening dunk.
Oh, they're tripping. They're tripping. Darnell Tillman, man. What
Still, Mac rose above it all, literally, soaring over Shaquille O'Neal with his head nearly grazing the rim, and earned a perfect 50 to win the contest. In 2025, he completed the impossible, a three-peat, 3 consecutive dunk contest championships, something no one had ever done before. Not MJ, not Vince, not Dwight, only Mac McClung. And he didn't just barely beat NBA high flyers, he dominated the event, showcasing his otherworldly vertical leap and hang time, challenging Vince Carter by putting on one of the greatest dunk contest displays of all time. In an era where fans had started to tune out the dunk contest, Mac brought it back to life. He made it must-watch again. And he did it all without being a full-time NBA player. No flashy contract, no superstar hype, just raw talent, relentless work, and a mission to show the world that greatness doesn't need a roster spot.
Mac McClung has saved the dunk contest.
After 3 straight slam dunk contest wins, Mac McClung's name is forever etched into NBA All-Star history. He didn't just participate, he changed the narrative. He brought creativity, precision, and pure excitement back to an event many had started to dismiss. But even with all the viral fame and highlight reels, Mac's story still feels unfinished. Because for Mac, the dunk contest was never the final goal, it was just one step. He's made it clear the mission is still the same, to earn a full-time spot in the NBA. He's been close before, signing short-term deals and getting brief call-ups. But the dream is to stay, to show that he's not just a dunker, but a legit player who can contribute on both ends of the court. And every time he steps on the floor in the G League, he plays like a guy who knows exactly what he's chasing. Off the court, his brand is growing. Endorsements, appearances, and a growing fan base have made him one of the most recognizable names outside the traditional NBA spotlight. But Mac is still that same driven kid from Gate City, the one who used to sneak into the basement gym to practice when nobody was watching. So what's next for the Dunk King? Maybe a long-term NBA deal, maybe another viral moment, maybe even a 4th dunk contest win to seal his legacy for good. Whatever comes, one thing's clear, Mac McClung isn't done flying. From small-town Virginia to dunk contest royalty, Mac's story is far from over, because when you've already shocked the world 3 times, the 4th might just be the one that changes everything.